Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and this is going to be the opening round rookie walkthrough front nine. Okay, so what I'm doing is to keep the video length shorter for everybody is I'm going to do the front nine in one video, and then I'm going to do the back nine in a separate video. Now I'm fully done with rookie already. This is going to give everybody plenty of time to take a look at my shots and complete your rounds. You've got almost the full time. So I'm really excited to get this out here fast for all of my viewers. And as you can see here, a minus 25, this is not what we are used to in the second round. It is sitting in first place with quite a lot of people already done. And you're gonna see the importance of that tiebreaker, which is why I said, wait for me to play before you play, because I fully expect everybody who's watching me to score better than me, of course, as long as you hit perfect, because you're going to get to learn from all of my mistakes. So this is a little bit different than what we've done in tournaments in the past. But let's go ahead and hop into this, right now. I made a very stupid blunder on a hole number one on this account. I set my alarm for 5 a.m. I did not play any practice shots before I got started. I just hopped right into the tournament, and I hit a great shot on my second shot, costing me a very easy eagle. So learn my lesson. I'll play a few warm-up games next time. So, realistically, this should have been a minus 26 if I had just hit perfect on hole number one. We'd be in a little bit better shape. But obviously, we're still going to make it through. And there's my other account right there, minus 24. I'll just own it. I played like absolute dog crap on that account. I'm not used to getting up this early, but I'm doing it for everybody who's watching. And please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please hit the thumbs up button. That takes a millisecond. And let's hop into the replays. Okay, so the winds have changed, okay? If we remember in the qualifying round, we were getting wind blowing from right to left, I believe. So it was the opposite of what we're getting in this round. Now, what I like about this wind is this is literally almost as easy of a wind as they can give us for hole number one. You want the wind blowing left to right, which is what we got. You would like a little bit more tailwind, but we're not going to be greedy. This is a very simple shot. And the thing I want to tell you is if you do not want to waste a power three ball, you don't have to. Keep in mind, I have a whole bunch of them just because I've won a bunch of tournaments. So I've got a lot of Kingmakers and a lot of Titans. A Titan ball makes this shot much easier. I would not use a Kingmaker because you don't want to reduce the wind. But you can easily do this with the Navigator, Quasar, Katana, really any ball. You can power this thing up the fairway. Now, as you can see here, I've used 4.5 bars of topspin. You don't even have to go that high. This is a very good wind, like I said, to play with. Just make sure you push back up to max after you adjust at 20% elevation. So that's always key on this hole. It's always 20% on the drive. Now, you're going to end up powering this ball way up the fairway here and get right next to the green. That's a good shot right there. You can add a little bit more curl if you want to try to get onto the green. But if you just do too much curl, you could end up clipping the rough and things like that. So I completely avoid that for me. I'm confident that I'll make this shot as long as I hit perfect, which we did on this account. I don't really think a lot of people care to see, the wedge shot. But anyways, it's full topspin, aim right at the hole here in this one. And it smacks dead center pin for the eagle on hole number one. You got to eagle this hole, everybody, to win this tournament for sure. So now we're going to go into hole number two, where I've got a couple replays for you. And remember, this is the front nine wind. So we're using a backbone, and I'm playing it at mid distance. So medium distance of my club. And I'm playing 10% elevation, always 10% on this hole. And we'll take a look at these shots, and then we'll talk about what I think you need to do to get yourself closer to the hole-in-one or to dropping this shot. Remember, I'm just taking a test run for everybody. So, we get really close. The speed is perfect, so we don't need to change anything spin-wise. So let's take a look at what we're doing here if you're taking notes. So in this wind, we're getting tailwind. You can see here, I go 2.1 bars of backspin. And right there for everybody, you can see here where my second bounce is, and ultimately where my ball guideline is pointing on that light green square. I'm trying to aim directly at the pin. So that's where I settle, and then I pull my 10% at medium distance, and this ball comes in just a sliver to the right. So all I would do if I were you is I would do the exact same 2.1 backspin. I would aim in the exact same area, but once you find that landing spot, I would like you to add 0.2 bars of left side spin, okay? I think that's going to be the best case scenario for you to drop this shot. Okay, we'll go into hole number 3. Now, hole number 3 is also different, okay? There's a couple holes where the game made the second round quite a bit more difficult than qualifying. In this particular case, we're getting double headwind on this hole, which makes this a little bit more difficult. But no worries, I can show you exactly how to drive this hole. This is a situation to where you could use a Titan or a Kingmaker. That's the ball I would recommend, either one, just because we want the power for the first shot and the second shot. So spin adjustment here is 3 bars of top, 3 bars of right. I want you to go ahead and play with 4 bars of top spin and not right spin. I'm sorry, 4 bars of top spin, full left side spin. Now, notice I've got my orange ring right up here by the bunker, and my ball guideline is fully developed. If I start to try to move it over to the left and avoid this bunker and rough area up there at the top, so right now my orange ring is at the rough, my ball guideline is pointing to the sand, and then I try moving it over here, but the trees get in my way. So ultimately, I want you to set up right before, just like this, right before the trees interfere with your ball guideline. So notice how after my spin, my ball guideline is pointing to the left of that bunker, but still in the rough. This is a perfect ideal landing spot for you. And all you're going to do from here is you're going to adjust your rings 10%. I want you to use a little bit of overpower combined with a full bar of left curl. And you can see there I have no fear of clipping the rough. I have no fear of being over here by the sand or the rough line where our ball guideline was pointing. That curl really gets us into the middle of fairway where we want to be. You know, you might want to watch that shot a couple times because it's very important that you hit this drive, which is going to set us up for shot number 2. Shot number 2, the game made it more difficult. Okay, we're getting direct headwind, which means, you know, don't forget to pack your big dog. That's very important. And I want you to, let me rewind this a little bit because details matter. Notice how I start here at full distance with my big dog. Keep in mind you don't want to do that because when you go to pull your rings, you'll already be at max distance. You're going to want to back this target up a little bit here as you see that I'm doing. You see I backed it all the way up to the +2 yard mark. That's a good reference if you have the same club as me. But if you don't, like if you have a big dog 5 or whatever, don't worry about the plus yards. Just make sure you back your club up a little bit and then make sure your ball guideline is fully on the green, just like mine is here. Now, as you can see, I went with right side spin, but I didn't go with much backspin at all. I would like you to change this to 1 bar of backspin, and you'll see why. Still a very easy eagle. You know, obviously I eagled this hole, but if I'd applied a little bit of backspin, then my ball would have stopped, you know, on the green instead of rolling onto the fairway. But either way, that's a very simple chip-in shot, which we were able to get down. So hole number 3, very important. We don't mess that up. Now, I did try this with headwind. I did try to go with a Titan ball with full left spin, as you can see. And I know some people like to play this way, so I just wanted to show you the shot with full overpower. You know, about 3/4 of a ball of left curl. I did hit a perfect ball, so it was good to see what happened with this shot. Just not enough, okay? So if you want to play this shot, you can. You can see here that even when you're in the rough, When you use a Nirvana, you get good top spin on this rough iron, which is nice. So my ball guideline, as you can see here, no problem getting to the green. The only thing that you don't ever like to do with a rough iron is have to use overpower, but we do. I even hit a pretty bad great left shot, and the nice part is I was in no trouble at all. Nice bounce onto the fairway, nice bounce onto the green, and we roll right past the pin. So if you wanted to do that shot, then I would suggest using a berserker, but you don't need to waste a ball like that in this tournament at all so far. So there's two ways to play it. You pick your poison, and good luck with that one. Okay, hole number 4. We're going to change the elevation on this round just simply because of how high the wind is and we're getting tailwind. I want you to play it at 20% elevation at medium distance of your club. Now you can see here I'm using 1.5 bars of backspin, and I'm putting my orange ring up by the rough line, and I'm trying to aim a little bit offset to the right hand side of the cup. But you have to remember, this is my first look at the hole going in blind. So you're going to learn, again, from my mistakes here. Not that I'm making mistakes. I'm able to show you perfect balls on every hole. And you see how close they come to dropping. So the only thing we need to do differently here is use, literally the exact same spin. And the reason that we're using the same spin is because that speed was perfect. We know that right here, 1.6, 1.7 bars of backspin, whatever that is, that's perfect speed to the hole. The only thing we need to change is, see where the ball guideline is at right now? You see how it's kind of like, 2 green squares short of the pin. We know that's good, but the tail of the ball guideline is splitting that light green square in half. All right? And when we split that light green square in half, with a perfect ball, we know that we go just barely to the left-hand side of the pin. So what you need to do here, assuming you get this same 4.0 mile per hour wind or 4.1, if you get pretty close to that wind, you just need to move your target. So right here, you need to move it more to the right-hand side of that green square. And let's say maybe you get a 2.5 mile per hour wind, then, you might want to kind of keep it right in that same area that I'm at. Well, that's a really good opportunity here for somebody watching this video to pick yourself up a hole-in-one on a pretty difficult par 3 to get a hole-in-one on. All right, now hole number 5. Again, more headwind on a drive. Now, I want you to keep in mind here, you can play this with any ball. The minimum ball that I would recommend would be a katana, but whatever ball you choose, your path and my path are going to be the exact same. And the reason being is because we have such a short distance on this drive. Even if you're using a katana, I'm using a kingmaker, we're still going to be applying backspin and right spin, and we're going to be aiming to land on the same part of the fairway. So your ball selection is not going to matter in this case because we don't need distance on the drive. We're going to be in the same spot. Again, I play this shot with 10% elevation. I play shot number 2 with 10% elevation. And this is all that we're looking for, just to get right here on the fairway. Now, here's another perfect ball and another very close miss. I'm playing this 10%. I'm playing it at medium distance of my Goliath. I do know that 2 bars of backspin is great speed to the pin. As you can see, I'm aiming dead center at the cup, again, because this is my first look at the hole. Unfortunately, on look number 2, I hit a great shot. So that didn't help me at all. But this is a perfect ball. 2 bars of backspin, 10% medium distance. And we just barely missed it again. So as you can see, and this is just like most tournaments, we leave so many shots so close. But let's take a look at the exact landing spot so you can make your adjustments based off my miss. Notice how with my backspin here, I've got the ball guideline going directly into the hole, dead center. When we hit a perfect ball, this ball comes in at good speed, I think, because it does roll. So right there, it rolls right before the pin. So the only thing I really want you to do is I want you to, instead of 2 bars of backspin, I want you to go 2 bars, like 2.2, 2.3 bars of backspin. And I just want you to move your target over a fraction to the right of where I aimed. And if you have the ability, this is the best way to play when you watch my videos. If you have, you know, a phone and you play on a tablet, put my YouTube video up on your phone and just play shot by shot with me, you know, or hole by hole, whatever is easiest for you. That way all this stuff sticks. Because if you watch me take this shot and then you immediately take your shot, you're going to be a lot better off memory-wise of what's going on here. And I think that's going to be super important, you know, whenever you're playing these tournament structures now where the wind is changing in every single front 9 and back 9 and around. So if you have a smart TV, you know, throw YouTube up on the smart TV while you're playing on your phone. I think you get the idea. Okay, hole number 6, a little disappointed I didn't get the albatross on this one, but we can walk through what you need to do. Just remember here, our goal is to get up onto the top of this fairway, right-hand side. Again, ball selection doesn't matter. Because of the wind we're getting, you could easily do this with a navigator. You know, you could do this with any ball that you want to pick. Tailwind is our friend on this drive for sure. This is 20% elevation. Shot number 2 is going to be played at 10% elevation. So let's take a look at shot number 2 here for a minute. I'm playing this one 10% at max distance of our club. So let's take a look at the spin adjustment that I end up settling on. So as you saw here, we're applying 4 bars of backspin, really 3.8, 3.9 bars of backspin, and we're getting tailwind, okay? So the game's made it a little easier for us on this round. I aimed at the hole with my ball guideline stopping just short of the hole, and I aimed on the right-hand side just because the wind is flickering from right to left just a little bit. Again, max distance at a 10% elevation pool. Perfect ball. All right, so let's see why we missed with this particular wind angle. And this is going to be really good detail for you here. So if you notice that when this ball touches down, it just slopes. You see how it slopes right there from left to right? Ball's rolling, 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 and then it just kind of just slopes on us from left to right. All right, so what we need to do, the backspin was good. I think what we need to do now is just move our target over a sliver to the left-hand side and offset a little bit to counter that roll that we're getting. So hole number 6, you know, a really good opportunity for an albatross there. Now let's go into hole number 7. So hole number 7, I always play with a navigator, and I always play it 1 for 1, and normally you try to spin into the hole. Now, this is one of the more difficult wind selections that you can get on this hole. You're going to get headwind combined with crosswind. So we have to offset this shot a little bit to make it work. So you'll see where we're aiming at here. So notice the spin here. I am applying top spin. This one has 2 bars of top spin on it. I'm aiming past the pin to the left-hand side of the pin. As you can see right there. I don't like this angle when I go to pull the rings, so I go back around the other way and I push the rings instead of pull. And that's another one left right next to the hole. So what do we know from this? We know that 2 bars of topspin is good. Okay. And there we are, aimed past the hole. The ball guideline, let's call the ball guideline touching the edge of the cup. Played it 1 for 1, so 3.5 miles an hour equals 3.5 rings. And the ball just sits right here on the right-hand side of the cup. So all you need to do is move your target over to the left, again, just a fraction, and you're going to be in a really good situation to sink this shot. Brings us on to hole number 8. Now, hole number 8, you know, the drive, again, headwind again. Ball selection, you know, I would go with a katana at minimum, but I do like a Titan in this situation. And this drive is pretty straightforward. You just want to apply a top spin and right side spin, and, you know, a little bit of overpower because of the headwind, and about half of a ball of curl to the right. Really difficult to mess this drive up. Now, I'll give a shout out to you know, somebody who watched my opening round, who informed me of a good rough bump opportunity on rookie. So I did decide to go with the rough bump today. So I appreciate you sending that to me. And this is a really good shot. Okay, play with no elevation, and you can see here what I'm gonna do. Spin-wise, 3 bars of backspin. And I'm just moving my target until I'm through the pin, because, again, we're getting headwind again. So the game is in love with headwind today. So ultimately, this is where I settle on spin. Okay, 2.8 back and just a sliver to the left. Just a sliver to the left. There's the ball guideline through the pin, dead center cup. No elevation here. I played this one at mid distance, so medium distance of my sniper. So it's close. You know, it's still a tough eagle. This is a very difficult eagle to pick up. But, you know, it's a good opportunity. I wanted to show one other thing here before I got into all of that. Give me 1 second. Bear with me. Oh, no, that's fine. It's on the back 9 that I had a better shot, but different wind angle. Okay, this brings us into hole number 9. Hole number 9 is pretty straightforward, okay? You just got to remember you want to pack your big dog, and you don't want to drive your ball into the rough. So, you know, you'd rather play it safe here with backspin than be sorry and go into the rough and kill your shot at an eagle. But you can see here I'm using about 2.1 bars of backspin. I use 1 bar left side spin. I'm just aiming, you know, direct middle of the fairway. And you can see here that 2 bars of backspin kept me in good distance. You don't need to push it too hard. But now we're going to be playing this shot on the front 9 with some tailwind. I will tell you, the back 9, hole number 9, is much more difficult than the front 9. And you'll see that in the next video on why I'm saying that. But, you know, I use a little bit of overpower here. I just really want to drive the ball on the second shot as far up as I can and get into these tree shadows. Because you'll see here when the camera flips around, I've got a really good shot to pin. And the drive is 10% elevation. Shot number 2 is 0. Shot number 3 right here, 10%. You know, I'm just checking the distance of my club. I did go ahead and decide to play this one at medium distance. You can see the backspin that I'm using. We're getting tailwind, which is nice. Couldn't ask for an easier approach on this shot than to get tailwind. So So I just apply enough backspin, and I just find that spot on the green where I get a good developed ball guideline. You know, I only have to pull this one ring. And, you know, picking up an eagle on this hole, that's a big deal in this tournament because a lot of people won't eagle this par 5, you know. Okay, everybody, there's the front 9. I'm going to let this upload to YouTube, and then I'm going to upload the back 9. So please subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up button if you found this helpful, and best of luck.